Hey, how's everybody doing? So I promised you we would get to the top 10 Christmas songs before Christmas, and we wouldn't have a long delay like I usually do on my channel. I'm trying to be more consistent on my channel. It's going to be my New Year's resolution. I thought, what better way to be successful at a New Year's resolution than just start it a couple weeks early, right? So we're here. We got the ugly Christmas sweater on. It says, I can get you on the naughty list. This is a true statement. You can ask my wife. You can ask my sisters. Ask my grandkids. It's just a skill I have. So I thought, what better sweater, what better shirt to wear for the show today than an ugly Christmas sweater. And you dig the mood here? We got the fire going, we got the Christmas sweater on, and we got Santa. That Santa, I got to tell you a story about the Santa. The year is 1987. I'm working for Kmart Automotive in Detroit, Michigan, like in Detroit, Michigan. I'm making $4.15 an hour, maybe. And they used to pay us in cash because Kmart used to be smart. It used to be a really good organization. And they pay us in cash because, well, they figured that at least half of it would come back to them on your way out the door. And they also had an employee shopping night that you could bring your family and come shopping. My wife and I bought that our very first Christmas together as husband and wife in 1987 at Kmart. And that thing's been around since. And he still moves. Like, if he ever stops moving, I'm still keeping it. We've changed the bulb a few times over the years, but he still moves. I have a photo of my son sitting and gazing at it, and I have a photo of all three of my grandchildren sitting and gazing at that Santa Claus. Anyway, that's just a little story I had to share with you before we get this show on the road. Top 10 Christmas songs of all time. Way more difficult of a task than I ever imagined that it would be. I'm thinking, all right, we're going to make it a top 20. And then I thought, nobody wants to listen to me talk for half hour, 45 minutes. You got to keep these things to 15, 20 minutes. Nobody's got we're the MTV generation. We were trained to pay attention in increments of 3 minutes and 45 seconds at a time. And it hasn't gotten any better with my kids' generation or his kids. It's actually gotten worse because now YouTube videos are short. And, you get like 15 seconds on Facebook video. Anyway, we won't get into all that. So Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks for the views on the last couples. We did the top Christmas 45s. We did my favorite Christmas albums. We gave some insights and some history, and got some comments. And everybody's like, well, when you doing the top Christmas songs? This is that moment. Okay, so we're gonna do 11 because that's how I am. Number 11 is the newest, the most recent song on the countdown. And it's from the movie Christmas with the Cranks. It had Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis in it. And the movie's a good movie. I wouldn't say it's a great movie, but it's a good movie. It's always fun to watch at Christmas time. And there's a song in there that I don't actually own other than digitally. And as I'm thinking about putting the show together, I got a little bummed out at myself. Like, oh, that's a failure. So I'll have to look for that and see if I can get an actual physical copy of that, whether it's on the soundtrack, the album, the 45. I don't even know if there's a 45 CD, whatever. I got to see if that's out there. But I'm going to show you a quick picture of it right now. So it's the Ravenettes, and it's their Christmas song, the Ravenettes. And it's just got that 60s vibe to it. Boom, boom, all the leaves are brown. Anyway, it's just got a really cool vibe. It's got a very retro vibe. Come out when the movie came out, which was 2012, I think, somewhere around in there. And so that's honorable mention on my list tonight, coming in at number 11. That's one I just love to crank because it's modern, but yet it's got an old classic feel to it. And honestly, I don't have any music by the Ravenettes. I don't have, I'm not a huge fan of their music, but that Christmas song, they just nailed the atmosphere of a retro Christmas in that song. So that's number 11. All right, on with the top 10 countdown. Coming in at number 10, got to put the readers on, is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers with Christmas All Over Again. I believe that was in the Home Alone soundtrack. I don't know. I've never seen the Home Alone movies, any of them, all the way through. I've seen them at people's houses. It's been on TV, at the mall or at the store you're shopping, and it's on the screens, but I've never actually sat down and watched from beginning to end any of the Home Alone movies. Never seen Jurassic Park either, or Titanic. That's just me. Not a big movie guy. I'm a music guy. So even if it's not in that movie, and I'm wrong on this, it's on the very special Christmas 2 which we have on CD. It's the first song when you put in the disc, and it's just a great song. You know, he talks about in the song, I sure do miss him. I just don't want to kiss him. You know, and that was always a thing. As a kid, you would dread that. You'd go to relatives' houses that you hadn't been to maybe since the previous Christmas, and it was always, oh, you've grown, and oh, look how big you're getting. And it was, you know, it's cool. I mean, it wasn't cool. You didn't care when you were little, but then you get to that 10, 11, 12-year-old age, and it's like, awkward. So Tom Petty captures that in this song, and then you get older and you think back on it, you're like, that was awesome. Number 10, Christmas All Over Again, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. All right, coming in at number 9, we got one song, 2 versions. We're going to give them a tie, because if you watch the 45 show and the album show, you'll know that I love this song, and I love it by 2 different artists, and depending on the mood of the day and the mood of the moment and how hot that fire gets, depends on which one I like better. It is Jingle Bell Rock. And there's been a lot of good Jingle Bell Rocks, but the 2 best versions are Jeff Moore and The Distance, which was released on this classic Christian rock Christmas record. We've got the CD, which we bought in '89, and I never knew the album existed until just a few years ago when I stumbled across it in a big pick I did. So we had to pick up the vinyl. So Jeff Moore and The Distance, they rock that thing out. I mean, they just lots of drums in it. It just, yeah, it kicks butt. And then you've got the original version, Bobby Holmes, right there. I don't remember if this was on my 45 show. I have to look at my notes, but there's the 45 version, and that's been in my family since the beginning of time. Used to play that all the time as a kid. My mom used to play it a lot, and Bobby Holmes, Jingle Bell Rock. They're both just fantastic versions of that song. And Bobby Holmes, did you see he was in the top 5 on the Billboard Top 40 charts the last couple of weeks? Because they count streams on those charts now, not just sales. And Bobby Holmes hit the top 5 with his version of Jingle Bell Rock. I think that's kind of cool. All these years, almost 50 years later. Very, very cool. All right, coming in at number 8. I got to look at my notes. I got to cheat. Number 8, and I know we talked about this one on the 45 show because this 45's been with me my entire life. If you missed that show, you can go back and check it out. I won't give the whole story here, but basically my grandma owned this record when I was a little boy. She used to play it at Christmas time. I got big enough to know what a record was. She gave it to me. It's been in my life ever since, so I was probably, 7, 8 years old when she gave it to me. She had it before that, so this thing has been around longer than I've been around, and you can tell that's been a long time. And it's some people have gold, some people have jewelry for family heirlooms. I have the Chipmunks, and I'm proud of that. I'm A-okay with that. We also got it on CD. We got it on vinyl too, which I think we showed you on the vinyl show, the record show, the album show. But I had to show you that we also have this thing on CD because, when CDs came out in the late 80s, early 90s, you got to go buy everything all over again on CD. And my wife had to have this one, so we wouldn't got that one. All right, coming in at number 7. Number 7, rock and roll Christmas music on the radio was rare. You sit around, you listen all day long, you might hear 2 songs an hour until they got like Christmas Eve. One of the ones they used to play was Bruce Springsteen. Santa Claus is coming to town. Couldn't own it. Never knew how to find it. Not in the record stores. Only on the radio. Bruce Springsteen releases Born in the USA, 1984. It's November of 1985. He releases My Hometown as a single. On the backside, he puts Santa Claus is coming to town. You can finally own it. And I did. I went out and got it, even though I had the album and all the singles up to that point. And this was like the 6th single deep, so you pretty much knew the song already. Still had to have Santa Claus is coming to town because I had grown up listening to that. Well, grown up, I mean, I'm still young when this comes out, but as from my childhood, I listened to that record on the radio and always wanted that record, and it eluded me for so long. And it's still, I can still listen to that. And he talks about, wind all whipping down the boardwalk and it's cold, and hey man, what do you want for Christmas? And it's just it just takes me back to listen to that while the wind was whipping around the Michigan doors and it was cold, and we used to get some real winters there up in Michigan. All right, coming in at number 6. Are we at number 6? Gotta look at my notes. We're on number 6. All right, another rock and roll record, another rock and roll Christmas song. The Eagles are at their height. Hotel California, Life of the Fast Lane, New Kid in Town, and then Heartache Tonight's getting ready to come out with the long run. And they released a single, Please Come Home for Christmas. And that one just, that was Christmas of 1978. This basically was a song of Christmas of 1978. This is the 45 from Christmas of 1978, and it's been around ever since. Just going all the way back to those days. There's the actual record. Yeah. So we always love that one. He he samples Smokey Robinson's You Really Got a Hold on Me in the music of it. Never knew it was a remake until many years later. With then I found out that Charles Brown had done that as like a soulful blues song. And a lot of times when you hear a cover and it impacts your life at the age that music is impacting your life, when you hear the original, you don't like it. But that's not true. The original version of that song, I should have grabbed it because I have that. I should have showed it to you. But anyway, the original version of that song is very good as well. All right, I'm going off camera again. Is that bad? That's bad video, isn't it? But anyway, we're looking for the records, and we want to make sure we got our countdown proper. So here, I'll pick up my notes. All right, we are on number 5. Elvis Presley, Blue Christmas. There's the picture sleeve 45, which is a little bit of a collectible. It's not been with me forever. I found this one recently, and I thought, ooh, I got to grab that one because that's one of the greatest Christmas songs of all time, and it's also got Santa Claus is Back in Town, which my middle grandson Nolan absolutely loves that song. He likes it by Kurt Russell from the movie, though, but he's heard the Elvis version, too. Of course, he's my grandson, so I've had to play it for him, but he likes that version as well. But, yeah, this one right here, and where I know it from is this album because, it would be Thanksgiving, and Santa Claus would hit the Hudson Parade, and right about noon he'd show up on the TV screen, and it was officially Christmas time. You had dinner, the Lions played football, and it was Christmas time, and that's what happened. And we have Blue Christmas on this record. First song on the first side, and Dad would drop a needle, and it was Christmas time. And it was time to start the countdowns and get the lists out and start playing the Christmas music and get excited about it. And to this day, it's one of the first records that hits the turntable at Christmas time around my house. All right, coming in at number 4. This one was not on any list that we've done before. I do not have this as a single. Holly Leaves and Christmas Trees. This is also Elvis Presley. You can see this is on one of his, I say later because he's done so many. They've released so many since then. They repackage them and put the tracks in different orders and, get them out there for all you Elvis fans to buy. And, it's cool because it's collectible, right? But this was the next one after the one I just showed you, and it's got it on the back there, Holly Leaves and Christmas Trees, and I'll embarrass myself a little bit here, but that record found its way to my life as a teenager. It was my first heartbreak at Christmas, and Holly Leaves and Christmas Trees won't be the same if you're not here, and it just fed my teenage heartache. It just pumped it right full of teen angst. That disappears. It goes away. The memories stay with you. The song, music lives forever. And that one has. So that's coming in at number 4. All right, number 3. And I was reminded that For King and Country did a really cool version of this song with a lot of drums. And they did. I'm not taking anything away from them. They did. And it is very dramatic and over the top. And there's a lot of production going on there. And it's kind of like a mixture of what the classic Little Drummer Boy used to be, where there were no drums and it was just rum-pa-pa-pum, but there was never any drums. And as a little kid, I'm like, where are the drums in the Little Drummer Boy? And then Bob Seger comes out and he puts drums in it. And then For King and Country gives you that style of that retro classic music, but then they put a lot of drums in it and they produce it as it's like this big production in the modern day. So I'm going to give them their credit. I'm giving them their credit where credit is due, but it still doesn't even hit my top 10. It doesn't come close to Bob Seger's Little Drummer Boy, which was released on the very first A Very Special Christmas, 1987. This was rock and roll Christmas music on vinyl, a complete album, no filler. It was all the people of the day, the Pretenders, Bruce Springsteen, Whitney Houston, the Rembrandts, U2, Run DMC, Stevie Nicks, Sting, Bon Jovi, Bryan Adams, John Cougar. They were all here, all on one album. This was like a dream come true for me. Rock and roll kid growing up in Detroit. Couldn't really hear it on the radio, and now you got a whole album. Well, here we are years later, and you can listen to Christmas music anytime, anywhere you want to. 24 hours a day, even. It's kind of neat. But Bob Seger's Little Drummer Boy, yeah, that one's awesome. Coming in at number 3. I got it on CD as well. Yep. Because once CDs came out, we had to go pick up the CD. So we got the vinyl, and the CD. Wanted to show you that. All right, coming in at number 2. This was my favorite Christmas 45. If you saw that show, if you didn't see that show, I invite you to go back and take a look at it. Number 2, Bryan Adams, Christmas Time. This one came out, there you go, green vinyl. That was cool then. They didn't do a lot of that kind of stuff back then. And as you can see, let me get it back in the sleeve there. I had the name on there, price. Yeah, had to put the name on it. I got the little no left turn. See, a little no left turn, because that was the name of my DJ business in Michigan when I lived in Michigan. Had that business for a long time. 20-some years we did that, and so we mark our records up, which we didn't realize what it was going to do to the value years later, but we did it anyway. So Christmas Time, Bryan Adams, comes out in 1985, right before I met my wife, or right about the time I met my wife, and just before we got married. And she was a huge Bryan Adams fan, so she played this one all the time. And when I hear this one, it just takes me back to those early days. Those early days where how do I say this? It was a struggle. It was stressful to buy Christmas presents when you're just trying to buy groceries and gas. But we made it. We did it. We survived it. And we look back, and those were the ties that bind. They just bring you together in a way that years later, sometimes that's all you got. Not trying to be all Bon Jovi-like, but it's a true statement. All right, here we go. The number 1 Christmas song to me of all time. This is available as a single. It is a very expensive single because it is very rare. But I found it on an album that my dad brought home. It's by an artist named Larry Norman. He is considered by many to be the father of Christian rock. And it is on an album that he released in 1973. And it was not a Christmas album. It was a rock and roll album. And there it is right there. The name of the album is So Long Ago the Garden. Lots of controversy over the album cover. And actually, the album came out in different orders. So in this album, it's the first song on the first side. But on the actual official release, which I have like 8 copies of this, I could have pulled them out. It's on a different order. But this is satire, humor, but it makes a point. And if you've never heard this, I'm going to post a link to this song in the comments, so that way you guys can go check it out, because YouTube doesn't like it when I put music on these videos. They flag them and they copyright protect them, and you get in a little bit of trouble. And then it limits the people that can see them as well. So I'm going to give you the link to it, and you can take a listen. But Santa Claus is coming, and the kids are getting greedy. They know it's in the story because they saw it on the TV. Another line is, it used to be the birthday of the man who saved our necks. Now it stands for Santa Claus. You spell it with an X. What's another one? I got to buy a present. Can't remember who it's for. I've done that. My wife and I have gone Christmas shopping, and then you sit down and actually wrap, and it's like, hey, honey, who's this for? I don't know. Didn't you buy that for such and such? No, I thought you bought this for such and such. No, I didn't buy this for such and such. So you set it aside, and you kind of like take an inventory as you're wrapping, like, oh, that's who it was for. Sometimes. And sometimes you don't. You're like, well, I'm going to give it to so-and-so because I think it would fit. They might like it. Anyway, great satire. Just takes a little bit different of a look at Christmas and kind of puts things into perspective and makes you think just a little bit about the true meaning of Christmas and why we celebrate Christmas. So there you got it, man. That's my top 10, 11 Christmas songs of all time. I could have gave you a top 20, but we decided, like I said, to not keep you here all night. It's Christmas time. You're busy. You got shopping to do, presents to wrap, and good food, cookies to eat, trees to decorate, that kind of stuff. Family to visit with, football games to watch, whatever it is you do at Christmas. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. One more thing before we go. I've been doing the coming soon. It's been on my personal Facebook page. It's been on the Claris Radio Facebook page. It's been on the Shock Jock Facebook page. It's been on the YouTube channel. This channel here, we've mentioned coming soon. So I'm here to announce it finally. After all these years, I am going to open a record store. Yes, sir, Jimmy Bob. I have the lease in place. We already have it started. We've cleaned it up. We've got some records in there, some racking, and that kind of thing. And we're going to spend the next few days just loading it up with inventory. And we're going to have a record store. We're going to do sales online as well. I've had a Discogs site for a long time, but I'm going to actually take my time that I'm at the store and update that and get it more inventory on the Discogs site so we can do stuff online and we can do stuff in the store. And we're going to try to do it a little different. You know, you go to a record store and you know, I don't know, I'm not complaining, but you know, you wouldn't do this if you didn't have some ideas of your own that were different than other people's. I would think, you know, most people don't open a business just to do what's already been done. So I got some ideas. I'm going to try some different things, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun with it. We're going to tie it into this YouTube channel, hopefully. You know, we got the radio shows online, Claris Radio. We're going to try to tie it into that and have the radio stations going at the store and do like countdowns of records that have sold and maybe do a podcast where, you know, some of our customers that come in, we can just kind of talk to them and air that on the station. Just got a lot of really cool ideas, and now it's on video for us to go back to and someone say, hey, you never did. And it's a good reminder, but you know, it's not all going to happen overnight. Right now, we're just trying to get the doors open so that, you know, we can start selling some things and start making a couple dollars instead of spending. Because, boy, we've been buying some records lately. And I'm going to sell used audio equipment and new audio equipment, some of the retro stuff. We got some retro T-shirts that we're going to have in there. We'll do a video walkthrough of the store so that you guys on the channel here can see it. So, you know, stay tuned for that. And if you don't live nearby, but you're ever visiting the Great Smoky Mountains in Tennessee, send us a message. We'll send you directions. You can stop by. We're not in the Smokies, but, you know, we're not far from the Smokies. And you can stop by, check it out, and say hi. That would be really awesome. We'll put you on the YouTube channel. That would be really, really awesome to do something like that. So that's the big announcement that we've been holding back on. The name of it is going to be Soundtracks with an X. I know it's not super original, but the other names that I wanted were already taken. And I thought, you know, our tagline is going to be rediscover the soundtrack of your life, because it doesn't matter if that soundtrack is from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, double O's, 10s, or 20s. Everyone has a soundtrack to their life. It doesn't matter what kind of music you listen to. That music takes you to a spot. Once it's been in your life long enough, it takes you back to a spot, and it's the soundtrack to your life. Everyone has a soundtrack to your life. Even if it's a TV theme song that you just watch that show every week, and or now Netflix, you can binge watch it, and you just know that song. Friends theme song, that comes to mind. Happy Days theme song, that takes me right back, you know. Everyone's got music as part of their life, and that's the whole idea here. So hopefully we have a wide, eclectic range of music that you can get. You know, I've been a huge Christian music fan my whole life, so I'm hoping to have inventory that not many people have for Christian rock music, because I've been collecting it forever, and sometimes I'll buy 4, 5, 6 copies just because I'm the collector of it. I feel like it's my duty to save this from the garbage bin. So anyway, we're excited. So stay tuned. We'll post a link to the website that we just got going. It's a real basic, boring website, but we'll post a link to it so you got some information on it. Give us a like on Facebook so that you have more information on what's going on. You can see some of the specials and some of the things that's happening there. You know, the Facebook page, so it's facebook.com Soundtracks Records. We just love for you to be involved as much as you can. And, you know, my sister, if she's watching this, she's looking for work. So, you know, you can move to Tennessee and come work at the store with me. That would be cool, right? All right, guys, again, very Merry Christmas. Me and Santa Claus here. We're going to check on out. We're going to turn this fireplace off because it's really, really warm down here in Tennessee tonight. And Merry Christmas to you. Thanks for watching our videos. We definitely do appreciate it. It's such a good time doing this. We're not about the statistics or the numbers or the chart rankings, although we talk about that sometimes. We're about the music and the memories and the soundtrack to our lives. Merry Christmas.